This is a JTP audio podcast.
Sometimes talking with friends feels like role-playing. Sometimes it feels like combat. Join us at the round table and roll initiative. This is Curmudgeons and Dragons. Welcome back to another episode of Curmudgeons and Dragons. How are y'all doing at the table?
I mean, it's been so long.
All right. Jack, how you doing?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in forever.
Right. What have you been doing in the past week since we saw each other last?
It's work. It's work.
Yeah.
Everything's work.
Everything's work.
All is work.
Everything is work. Everything is a struggle. Everything is agony.
Well, it's work in golf a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
It's a lot of just like dad stuff.
Josey Diaz is here. All right.
Hello.
So, no, that's your introduction.
That's your intro. Moving
That's what you
on.
get.
I didn't need it.
That's too bad.
No,
We're keeping that in.
I was so ready. And then the
Josey,
sneeze
round
came.
2. What's going on, Josey?
Hello. I feel like I'm a little older than the last time we were here, a little wiser.
Do you feel a little less allergenic?
No,
So you got
never.
those sneezes out?
I am perpetually sneezing because I insist on touching animals that I am allergic to.
This is not the house to be in then.
Yep. Actually, right now
I
it's
was
perfect.
cuddling with my guinea pigs
Right now it's
earlier.
perfect house to be in because your cats are deathly afraid of us.
I got sneaky pussies, dude. I don't tell you.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
them pussies be hiding.
My guinea pig needs Neosporin on his feet, so he gets to hang out on the couch with me.
At that point, just get rid of it.
Different episode.
No.
If you just put Neosporin on your guinea pig's feet,
on his little feet because he's got
Just
little cuts on him.
let the wild take care of that animal.
No,
That's insane.
he's a good boy.
Yeah, that is not what Darwin had in mind
No.
for your guinea pig. Speaking of dying guinea pigs and sneaky pussies, today we're doing our RPG Wholesome Stories.
Hooray, death.
It must be time to get wholesome.
Yeah, first I gotta bring you down.
Yes. We did these a couple months ago, and they were an absolute blast. This was still my favorite episode. Was the first wholesome.
But I like feeling
wholesome
good
story.
about myself.
Right?
I actually had a better day because I heard about nice things.
It was great.
And I can tell you right now, I want to play D&D less sometimes when I hear about some of these fucking assholes in the horror stories. Like, this guy threw poop at me once. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, cool. I'm not playing D&D for at least a year now.
And the other story was like, once you're lucky.
Yeah. 100%.
Can't relate.
But these wholesome stories are great. They remind me of why I love this game so much and
Feel
why I love
good.
gaming in general so much. There really is some cool communities out there, some cool people who are playing these games. And every now and again, someone actually takes the time to write down these stories. And what's good to keep in mind is that the horrible things and the bad stories are the minority.
Yeah, 100%.
I think. But they are the anomaly, and they are more story worthy. And, you know, if you have a bad experience, you're going to go write the Yelp review.
100%.
When you have a good experience, you really just kind of, you smile and keep it to yourself. So I appreciate when people actually take the time to write down a good story and a
Or
wholesome story.
sometimes you keep it to yourself to share at parties. You selfish little bitches.
Or podcasts.
Yeah.
Shh.
So let's
Just
bring,
email them to us instead, and we'll disseminate them.
let's roll some initiative and get wholesome, boys.
I'm going to do it.
We got a big 7 over here. Is Josey going first?
You put it back. You put it back. I got a nat 20. Give me it back.
I didn't see it. I think she's lying.
You
Josey's
piece
got
of
a
shit.
Nat 20.
I think she's lying.
finally did it.
Oh, give it to her. It's wholesome story day.
Well,
Give her that.
yeah.
You know what we did last time? It was wholesome, though, right?
Did we go backwards?
We did to make
Yeah.
the low rose feel better.
Oh, right.
I think we should keep with the trend.
No, let Josey go first. Let her have
No,
this.
no, you know
it's
what?
wholesome
It's
story
fine.
day. Let her
It's
have this.
fine. I'll go last
Jack, what do you
because
got?
we saved the best for last.
Josey, I would love for you to go first.
We want you to go first.
Mine has no name. It's actually just like one story in a thread I found on the reddit.com where they were asked, what has been your favorite wholesome moment in D&D? And this is from a DM talking about a wholesome story they experienced.
Woo!
In the campaign I'm currently playing in, we have a barbarian that is actively spreading his religion to anyone who will give him the time of day, and this one particular NPC is really into it. He follows the PC around and hangs on to every word he says. During one session, the PC decides that he is going to raise money through a bake sale in order to establish a church for his deity in a particular city, so the NPC agrees to help him. After spending all day and most of the night working this bake sale, the NPC turns to the player character and says that he is very tired, that he feels guilty about it but must turn in for the night. The NPC is heartbroken about leaving the player character to guard the table, but the PC turns to his follower and says, "It's okay, NPC. Sometimes you have to throw in the towel to wash it," and then he hugs the NPC and lets him go off to rest. I was so moved by his kindness that I donated 400 gold to his efforts, and now said NPC is the proud official of the brand new church.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
I think it was good. I think it was nice. I'm not very into clerics generally.
I'm not going to lie. I might use that phrase now. You got to throw in the towel to wash it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's great.
That is
We
good.
heard that like earlier in the day.
Oh,
I was just
100%.
waiting to
He
use
actually
it.
made up this story around that one phrase. That's all he did.
Story's fake. He just made it up just to get that out there.
100%. So his grandpa said he failed like a math test, and then he was like, I'm going to make up a story on the internet for this. I did enjoy that.
You know, son,
But everything on the
sometimes
internet,
you got to throw in the towel to wash it.
everything
Now get
on
me a
the
beer before I beat
internet
your ass
is
again.
true.
You should not hear the things people are saying about you, though. I don't doubt that.
Well, I believe that.
No, boy.
It's a healthy mix.
Is it?
It really appeals to both ends, the degradation and the praise.
The mouth and the... Oh, no. Not the, okay.
No.
Literally no one's talking about me on the internet, so.
I'll talk about you. I'll spread like really horrible rumors about you if you want. Yeah.
NPCs really should have good moments with the players. Like
What's the point of an NPC if they're not there to interact and build the story with the
they're
character?
there to draw a good story out.
Cannon fodder.
Players absolutely can do it on their own, but the NPCs are there as part of the world.
Mhm.
They are equally part of the world as the tavern, as the
And they're
the
not
big
just
bad.
there to gain XP from their murder.
Right. They're there to interact with the players and to draw out a story.
100%.
Now, we can't forget that our actual goal in the game is not to beat the big bad, but is to tell a story.
Mhm.
And the NPCs are there to tell stories. When players have great like good interactions with NPCs happen every single session. You should have good interactions, but a great interaction like that one is worth telling a story about. This is fantastic.
I've never had players cry when talking to each other, but I've made two people cry on separate occasions with like NPC interactions in good ways. Not like they beat you to death and like your dick's small and like
We
you
ended
killed
up
your mom.
having an NPC named Bentley who started out as just some like random farmer. And within like 40 minutes of the first session, he like rolled 6 nat 20s. And we're like, we can't leave this guy behind.
Mhm.
He's got to come with us.
He's our new party. Yeah. I remember one time someone had a wish spell. They made a wish spell and his daughter was dead. So I made like the wish appears like a unicorn or something like that. And so it was like daughter's favorite animal. And like he had this big fleshed out, shout out to Dusty. He had this big fleshed out backstory. And then like I incorporated like his, I mean, this sounds like not as wholesome as dead daughter, but her favorite animal and like the unicorn could speak and she said he was all right. And he started crying. It was great. It was wonderful.
You listen to a lot of like actual play podcasts. Like I'm going through NatPod's first campaign right now. I'm actually about halfway through it. And their interaction with their NPCs is amazing. Characters that were not supposed to last for more than 3 or 4 episodes become like major plot points. So shout out to Old Cobb. I grew to love Old Cobb more than Jake did.
No, NPCs are just a great part of the story. They really do make or break a story.
Jack, would you roll?
15.
I think you're up next.
I think I am. So it's unfortunate how tough wholesome D&D stories are to find on the internet now because they did away with the subreddit. That was like my go-to place. But there wasn't enough people posting wholesome things. So now I actually have a comment because someone had posted like, you know, what's like a very emotional part or like an emotional thing that you went through in D&D. And a lot of them were about like, you know, being sad and stuff like that. And I feel like the point of like a wholesome thing is not to feel sad, but feel good about yourself. So this might sound sad, but it's a happy little ending. So when the very first player death was pretty emotional. We were playing our first campaign, Lost Mines of Fandalvar, as a group near the very end, fighting the Flaming Skull and his minions. This was about 8 months of playing. Our bard got caught out in the open as we were all retreating to get better ground. We were being pursued by the skull and his undead minions in a series of tight corridors. Our bard HP was already very low, having been revived a heal the round before, and the caster decided to focus on chasing him. Next round, the bard misses his bow shot and the skull knocks him unconscious. The rest of our party couldn't manage to bring it down either. We had no primary spellcaster and all piercing weapons, so the skull was taking half damage. Next round, the skull sends its fire orb rolling over our bard, and he burned to death. As new players, we were focused on RP and relationship building. It had been 8 months, and we had created good camaraderie between our characters, and we just lost one of our brothers. Things got very emotional in the post-fight RP, and also in real life. We were somber, and some players actually teared up. Our DM decided to call it theirs instead of to cause the campaign to come to a grinding halt, and we were in no emotional state to carry on that night. Looking back on it, I'll never forget that session. It was really powerful, and it showed me what impact player deaths have on a campaign, and also how they can be a positive force for RP and group cohesion. I'm not afraid of having my characters die anymore, but goddamn, neither do I want them to. Says sorry for the rambling response, but when I saw the thread, I immediately knew my answer. So I liked that this basically in a wholesome way influence this player moving forward in D&D.
Yeah.
Like dealing with like a player death of someone you play with for 8 months and got to know really well, and dealing with like death. Because sometimes like you're playing with these people for years.
Yeah.
And like you feel like that you're not playing
8 months is nothing.
Well, you're not playing with them anymore. You're playing with their character. Your characters are playing together. After a while, like you almost feel like, you're the ranger and they're the bard. Like you're playing together. So when a character
like
dies,
some people have had characters that they've been playing so long with people that like they have children and grandchildren like within the campaign.
Yeah, but this play is the PC death like actually like influenced the group of, this guy was always afraid of like PCs dying and played cautiously, but now he's like, he knows he could grow from the death of a PC like RP and storytelling was.
Yeah. I'm still at the point in my player career, I guess would be a horrible term for it. But like, I don't want my characters to die.
Well, no one really does.
No one wants to, but like, I'm still like, very cautious, and I'm at the point where he was. If something like that happened to me in a campaign, I can understand being like, okay, this is just, it's part of the game. It's like teaching a child about their dead dog. It's like, it's part of life.
Yeah, you say it's your fault, you did this, and you move on.
No, I said dead dog, not divorce.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Just flashbacks already. That's why my parents got divorced. I killed the dog. That was the unfortunate part.
It was part of the ceremony. No, but
why'd they get divorced? So they could have just given you up for adoption.
I mean, they did that. So too close to home. Ow.
In his own house, Josey.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me something I already knew about myself in my own home.
Absolutely. I'm also gonna eat all your food and steal all your alcohol.
I mean, that's fair. That's usually what people do while they come over.
Stir my third beer out of his fridge. But like, just like teaching a kid that, death is part of life. Death is part of the game. And, and again, we are not here to be the best character. We're not here to be the big bad. We are here to tell a story. And death tells great stories.
I think you're last but not least.
Yeah, I'll wrap this up.
I love it. I want to hear it. I'm ready. I'm ready for some wholesome.
So this is a story posted by user Benjamin1391 4 years ago on Reddit.
1390 and everything below was taken.
Yes. So the story is called "I Ruined a Boss Fight for My Players, and It Was Glorious."
I love it already.
A while back, I was DMing a Pathfinder campaign for low-level players. They had been tasked by a local lord to clear out a cave as it was being targeted by a mining operation. When they got to the cave, they found a large collection of spiders, snakes, and other cave critters. But after a bit, they ran into a zombie, and then 2 more, and then a skeleton. The deeper they moved into the cave, the clearer the situation became. A necromancer had set up shop inside. After a hard-fought crawl dealing with numerous undead on top of the cave creatures, the party found a unique undead, a skeletal champion. Now bear in mind this is a level 1 party, so they were a bit trepidatious. However, the paladin made short work of the champion, and after a few rounds, it crumbled to dust. After a brief break to chug potions, the party slowly entered the necromancer's lair. A hooded figure greeted them and introduced himself as Lord Grim, commander of the underworld. He began to monologue about how he had absolute power and mastery over the undead. Fog rolled into the room and torches began to flicker and dim as he raised his arms and prepared to fight. And at this point, my players were salivating for a fight. There was a beat running through the room with everyone thinking, boss fight, boss fight, boss fight, boss fight.
You need some cheering in the background there.
Of course. Combat starts and the gunslinger steps forward and fires. Blam! And the round blows Lord Grim's shoulder open, blood and sinew fly everywhere, and Lord Grim falls to the ground and begins to cry loudly. Not gentle sobs, but the wailing of a hungry babe. At this point, my players are just confused. The player steps forward and actually asks Lord Grim if he can help. Eventually, the party heals him and asks what's going on. Lord Grim was not a powerful necromancer at all, but the son of a lawful evil wizard who just wanted Daddy to love him. So he stole some of his father's scrolls and ran off to create an undead lair. His name was actually Mielvin, and all he actually wanted to do was study restoration. Long story short, the party took pity on him and used their connections at the local temple to get Mielvin a job there. Several months later, the party was back in town and needed a cleric. Mielvin happily volunteered and ended up saving a party member from a nasty poison.
That's adorable.
I love it.
I know that you're probably saying Mayovin, but it sounds like you're just like an old New York Jew from
Mielvin.
Melvin.
My name is Mielvin. It's Myelvin. Mielvin?
Malvin, I guess. I don't know. Hey, Malvin.
I like Melvin so much better.
Melvin.
My name's
Melvin.
My name is Melvin.
It's me, your cousin Melvin.
Melvin.
I just want to be a restoration cleric. My name is Melvin.
I like that. I was really when you said like ruined a boss fight, I thought it was gonna be like a one hit kill. I'm like, yeah, you guys did great. See you later. But it was just like
not a one hit,
or like it was just a huge misunderstanding. Like he was doing something nice, and they're just like, "Why are you shooting me?"
Ow!
Yeah, come on, bullets hurt. I've done that before in a session where like I basically like laid a bunch of red herrings, and like they just basically like started beating up an innocent person. He's like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
I hope Melvin's doing great.
I hope he's doing really, really good.
I hope he cuts off his father and and lives how he wants to live.
Melvin seems like a kind of guy that would not have the balls to cut up his father, though.
But with the help of the party and good friends, the power of friendship can cut off your father.
Yeah, 100%. Or cut up your father.
I think is that the lesson to be learned here?
Yeah.
Are we a lesson type of show?
I think we are.
I mean, for legal purposes, no.
Yeah. Don't go cutting up your dad. Just disclaimer. It's in the episode, so if you do,
and
it's
remember,
not our fault.
kids, you and your friends can cut off your father.
Yeah.
Together!
I'm surprised we found 3 more wholesome stories. I love doing these.
Well, it takes us 3 months to find them because they're so damn like not just present on the internet.
So you listening to the show, go have a great session and write about it. And send it over to us at curmudgeonsanddragonspod@gmail.com.
We want to hear from you.
Love to talk about
I want
your
to hear
story.
from people.
Not only do we want to tell good stories, we want to tell your story. So send it on over, curmudgeonsanddragonspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm really lonely. I want to talk to people.
Right?
I'm real lonely. I'm so lonely.
Jack is the lonely single in your area, and so is his wife.
Oh yeah, that's where we'll both be hitting up on the internet.
Yep. Yeah. Also give us a follow at Curmudgeons Dragons on Instagram, curmudgeonsanddragons.com. You get a link to all of our socials. That's all I got. You guys got anything to add?
I mean, wholesome stuff. Go to the Instagram. Check out those memes. I mean, it'll make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I gotta start putting those out again. We're like a week behind.
Oh my, a week behind.
Oh no!
Listen, I schedule them a month in advance. Did I know valid meme formats anymore by the time they come out?
Yeah.
None of one needs to know that.
Oh, you'll be fine. Nobody has to know.
Yeah, go give us a follow at Curmudgeons and Dragons.
Do it. I'll give you $1.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
You guys got anything?
No. I just love being with you two. It's wonderful.
Josey Diaz? Yeah. Jack O'Connell.
Me.
My name's Jason Portizo.
You.
We will see you on the next episode.
Miss you already.
This has been a JTP Audio podcast. Thanks for listening.